co-host?
Already are, my love.
I am?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me of recording. That's always a good idea. So just to repeat, I would like to do a meditation now that is, for some people, going to be very, very destabilizing. And if you find it too destabilizing, just open your eyes. The eyes are really good at keeping us, getting us back into the delusion of a separate self. I am here, that house is there. So you can just open your eyes at any point if you need it. At the end of the meditation, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes and look at your hands. And obviously, when we do that, I would like for you to see if you can stay in that meditative state and still follow the instructions. And if your eyes pull you back into reality, then just get back to your breathing and get back into my voice, and then we continue with the meditation. So make yourself comfortable. Just make sure that all of you are muted. You are beautiful. It's so good to see all of you. Okay, make yourself comfortable and close your eyes and make a deep inhalation and exhale, and feel how you fall into gravity with the exhalation. Inhale again and exhale, and feel how your body completely relaxes and you feel the heaviness. Make another inhalation. Exhale and feel how you fall into gravity and you're very, very present and heavy in your body right now. Make a few more deep breaths. And then I would like for you to let go of your breath and just allow the breath to take care of itself. So you have a breath as if you're sleeping, where there's no special focus on inhalation and no particular focus on exhalation. The breath is just taking care of itself. But feel how your body is getting more and more heavy. The more you let go of the mind and you pull your awareness into the body and to how it actually feels to be in a body, the more heavy you get. So you're really, really heavy in the seat. And see if you can pull your attention towards your feet. And when I say pull attention to your feet, notice what is happening in your mind. Do you see a mental picture of your feet? Or do you have a thought about where the feet are? Any kind of connection your mind is doing right now, see if you can detach that and just be in this space here, where somewhere out there is what we used to call feet. Very quickly you will feel that if you keep detaching your mind, you don't have any feet anymore. There might be a buzzing sensation somewhere in the area where you think your feet are. But if you stop thinking about it, just notice what is happening in your direct experience. You can feel a buzzing sensation, a tingling sensation. You might feel pressure from what you perceive to be the floor, or perceive to be shoes or socks. But again, if you detach that thought and just notice the tingling sensation that is happening somewhere. The more you focus on that, do you also feel that the length of your legs and the end point where your feet are supposed to be, that they're not in the same position? Which is super odd. If you were to stand up, you would not have uneven length of legs. Well, you might have, but not this much as you feel right now. So in your direct experience, how do you know the length of your legs? And how do you know that the feet are at the end of your legs? In your direct experience, when you completely detach thought and just stay with the sensory experience, is there any way you know that the torso is connected to the legs that are connected to the feet? In your direct experience, is there anything that is connecting your feet with the legs and the torso? Or is it just sensory experience happening? And if you detach the thought about any relation with the sensory experience, can you even define where that sensory experience is taking place? And without moving your hands, I would like for you to make contact with your hands. How do you even know where your hands are? In your direct experience, are the hands even connected to the arms, and are the arms connected to the torso? Without having any mental image of your hands and where your hands are located, without a thought telling you that, are there any hands at all? Is there any difference between the sensory experience of where you would say your hands are and where your feet are? Is it just sensations floating? And I would like for you to make contact with your torso. It can be you have a tension in the torso, it can be you have a rumbly stomach, it can be you can feel your heartbeat or your breath. But do the same thing again. If you detach any thought and you just sit with the sensory experience, where's the breath actually going when you inhale? So if you notice your inhalation and you detach all thought to a torso or lungs or oxygen exchange, right? And all of that, just detach all of that. In your direct experience right now, where's the inhalation actually going? Is there any connection with the inhalation and the exhalation? See if you can notice where the inhalation happen. Where's that happening? You might say your nose. Let's just for now say that you do have a nose and you inhale. Then where does it go? In your direct experience, if you can't have a thought describing the lungs, and it's just in your direct experience, then what do you actually know? And sit for a moment and notice how it is to not have the body. Because with your eyes closed, your body can only be a thought. The meat suit is only a thought. In your direct experience with closed eyes, what do you actually know is there? And is any of it actually connected? Does it feel like you're just a head floating? If it does, I would like for you to question that too. How do you know there's a head? In your direct experience right now, how do you know there is anything but sensation? And if you can only define how your head looks by what you actually feel, you see that if you were to draw how it feels like you look, it would look nothing like how you think you look in a mirror. But that is relying a lot on the eyes. So your eyes are perceiving something completely different than what your nervous system is picking up. How do you know which one of them is actually true? In your direct experience, do you know anything but what your senses are picking up right now? So does that mean that when you open your eyes, that is something completely different? Or is your eyes just giving you a different experience? Is both true? If there's nothing holding in the sensory experiences you're having, and it feels like it's just free floating in space, And it's only when you open your eyes and look in a mirror that you get any kind of indication of all those free floating senses being in a meat suit. Why is that experience more real than what your sensory experiences are telling you? And while we're at it, in your direct experience, if you cannot attach any thought to it, how do you know you were ever born? How do you know that there was a beginning at some point? You don't remember it. So you've been told. You've been told a lot of things that you found out wasn't true. Why do you think this one is one of the ones that are true? If it wasn't written down anywhere, how would you know you were ever born? How would you know what is your birthday? And what does that even mean? How much of what you perceive to be true do you actually know to be true? Is there anything in your direct experience that you know with 100% certainty to be true? Even your own existence. Or is that just a thought? So if you don't know anything to be 100% true with absolute certainty, what are you fighting for in a discussion? Who is it you are defending? What belief is it you're protecting? The sensory experience you had right now, can anyone say that that is not real or not true or you didn't experience that? Can you say that about anyone else who's here? And how do you know that what you experienced is more right or more true than anyone else? And see when we continue with the question shortly, if you can keep this sense of openness, of the 10 feather not knowing, if you can keep that whatever anybody says, it's absolutely true for them. Whatever experience anyone has, it's absolutely true for them. How do you know what is true for you? Can you, with any kind of certainty, know anything? Your feet just disappeared. You're questioning if you were even born. How do you know anything with certainty. In a moment, I would like for you to stretch your hands out in front of you. And then I would like for you to open your eyes and look at your hands. But I would like for you to stay here in this space you are in now. And if you need to go back to closing your eyes to get back into it, then you just do that. So I would like for you, first of all, to imagine how your hands look. Imagine that you take your hands out in front of you, and you imagine that you open your eyes and you look at your hands. Do you know how they look? And in a moment, you're going to experience something really, really strange. You are going to take your hands out and you are going to look at your hands. And in the beginning, your hands will look like you just imagined. But I'm going to ask you to keep looking at your hands. And then you're going to experience the weirdest thing, that your hands change. You're going to see things that you haven't noticed. Your hands are going to change in size and in depth, in thickness, in length, because you're going to see what actually is there and not what you think is there. Right now, when you think of your hands, in your mind's eye, that is the projection that your eyes is going to put on your hands. So at first, when you look at your hands, they're going to look exactly like in your mind's eye, because you're actually not looking, you're recognizing. But we're going to continue looking at your hands until you see through the recognition and actually see your hands. So keep having your eyes closed, put your hands out in front of you. And when you open your eyes shortly, you're going to see a recognition of your hands. Keep looking at your hands, and then you will feel how your eyes change to you actually suddenly look at your hands, and they're going to look very, very different. Okay, so slowly open your eyes, look at your hands. What you see now is just a recognition of your hands. Keep looking at your hand. Take like your right hand. Look at your right hand. And the more you really, really look at it, your skin texture is changing. The color of your skin is changing. You might begin to see blue and green and purple, other colors. You will see different shadows. You can see the pores. Your hand is looking completely different. Now look at your fingers. Again, when you move your gaze, first you're going to see a recognition of your fingers. If you keep looking, suddenly you're actually going to see what you're looking at. Your fingers will change. You will see more wrinkles. You might see spots or dots. You will suddenly see details that you didn't see before. That is because now you actually see. You don't recognize anymore. Okay, take the left hand up next to the right hand and see if you can relax in your gaze. So you don't look specifically at one hand, but you kind of take both hands into your visual field. And you hold your hand still. And without moving your hands at all, and without moving your fingers at all, how do you know they're connected to anything? If you do not attach a thought, do you see it's just hands and lower arm that is floating in space? How do you know they're actually attached to anything? And if you do not move the fingers, how do you know this is your hand? And if you say, but I'm looking at my hands, okay, then ask into that. Who is looking? Where's the looking happening? You might say in my head. Okay, follow it. Where's the looking actually taking place? You might say my eyes are looking, but actually your eyes are not, your brain is. How do you know you actually have a brain in your direct experience right now? We're back to questioning what you actually know versus what you think you know. Okay, close your eyes again. And if you close your eyes and just sit and you go back to breathing, you just look at your hands. In your sensory experience right now, does your hands feel anything like what they looked? In your sensory experience right now, is there anything left that feels like your eyes told that your hands actually looked? So how do you know which sense to trust? In your direct experience right now, are your hands actually connected to anything? Or are there just sensory experiences floating around? Okay. Move your feet a bit. Move your legs. Bend your fingers. Move your arms. Move your entire body. Make a deep inhalation. And exhale. Breathe in again. Exhale and slowly open your eyes when you're ready. So the takeaway from this is to question everything. Whatever you perceive as truth or reality, come back to that space and ask yourself, are you sure? This huge thing that is occurring in traffic when somebody is cutting you cutting you off in traffic. Are you sure that is such a big thing? Or did you just get startled? Question everything. Okay. Yeah, Glenda. Just pin you. And pin me. Hello, my friend.
Hi. First, I have a request. Could you do a clip of this meditation and put it online?
I'm sure we can. Yes, I'm sure we can.
Thank you. It was so profound. So I came here because I'm working on the third fetter and lots of distractions and diversions. But what's coming up for me so strong, it's such a core belief. But one thing that's happened in my life recently is there's no more seeking.
Mm.
So there's more of a sense of it's just happening. But there's still lots of conditioning working its way through. The core belief is I am bad. I am so bad. And I've been noticing this past week especially, in every moment, there's this jittery energy just going through me. And I can take a glass from the cupboard and I am bad.
Mm.
But, and then, so I wanted some help in working with this morning. But the meditation you just did, when we had our eyes closed and you said, put your attention on your hands, it was like I didn't recognize them as hands.
Mm.
They were just energy.
Yeah.
And it hit me at that time that this core belief feels like a body part.
Yeah.
It feels like a hand or a arm, or it feels just part of me.
Mm.
So I got a sense of, I have been attempting lately to go into the sensation of the
Yeah.
I am bad.
Yeah.
But the distractions come up so quickly
Yeah. Yeah.
to take me out of it.
Yeah.
But the meditation, just showed me it to stay with it, to keep working with it.
Yeah.
Can you offer any more
Yeah,
pointers?
yeah, I can. Well, what I find interesting is when we have statement like that, I am bad. In comparison with what? What is it you're comparing with? Because it's clearly not factual or actual or real or anything. It's just a thought that is telling you that you are bad. Just like I am green, I'm a purple leprechaun. It's just a thought.
Mhm.
So in comparison to what? What is it you are bad in comparison with, and how do you know? It's something which you have been told at a very, very early age, and you will probably never ever find out when.
Mhm.
And it doesn't really matter. The relevance for you is now to feel into, I have this jittery experience of being bad. Okay, I'm just allowing it to be there. Can I be in a body where I'm perceiving myself to be bad? And then ask yourself, in comparison to what? What is it right now in this moment that can be any different than it is? And if nothing in this moment can be improved or be worsened in any way, then how can anything be good or bad?
Yeah.
The other thing is, who is bad? Where is that badness located, and in conjunction with what is bad? One of the things about compassion is knowing that there are no bad people. There are no bad experiences either. There's nothing, even a root canal at the dentist cannot be a bad experience. It can only be an experience. On its own, it's just an experience. a warm bath can only be a nice experience if you compare it with a root canal. You know, on its own, it's just an experience. There's no difference in an experience of warm bath or root canal.
Mm.
Just like Glenda cannot be bad taking a glass out of the cupboard. It can just be an experience of taking a glass out of the cupboard. There needs to be thoughts attached to the action of doing something. And who are those thoughts talking to? And who are the thoughts talking? It's a thought. It's a thinker that's a thought. So it's thought noise that is creating a little story about Glenda being a purple leprechaun and you believing in it. Oh, I wish I wasn't purple. It's just a little story you're creating. You cannot be purple or bad or leprechaun.
Thank you. It was so helpful. Yeah, that meditation really allowed me to see something deeper. So thank you.
Good, good, good. And there's Anna. Hello, my friend. I'm so happy to see you.
Pernille, that's my first time meeting you.
I know it is. And I saw you on Vince's, I saw the recording. Absolutely fell in love with you. Oh my God, it's so good. I love this so much. Anybody who hasn't seen it yet, watch the recording that Vince he has made where Anna talks. It's beautiful. So
I
good to
watched the interview with Vince and I really, really liked that. And interview with Ted when he
Yeah.
went through that purging, that's made so much shifting here.
Oh, it's
It
beautiful.
was
So
very
good.
helpful. Yesterday I got triggered in basically I was talking and there was disagreement and then something got triggered. Then I cried, like I finished that conversation. I went to bathroom, I cried out. That's intense emotions, shaked off frustration. And then I just, just tried to keep in the body, attention in the body, what is happening. And I can see, like body is actually nothing major, nothing big is happening there. Just a wee bit of tightness in the chest, wee bit of, tingling sensation in the chest, wee bit of cramping in the stomach area, but nothing apart from that. There's really nothing to avoid, nothing. But I can see like mind like so intensely really trying, like a pull again, and some thoughts, and that thoughts they are the same like a coping mechanism, push away, pull away, get in the safety shell, water's like walls down, like windows closed, doors closed, everything, just get away from me because you're hurting me. So I was looking at this one here, and what is happening, I'm actually like madly looking for external validation. Like just tell me how good I am, just tell me how great I'm doing. And I can see this is coming from, like I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, and just do more, achieve more, like, and then I was sitting in the coffee shop today and I can see like all this is coming up, and I just feel like enormous ugliness within, like, and I just like feel disgust towards and hatred towards whatever this is. And like it feels like everyone is looking at me and everyone see how ugly, not like physical, not look wise, but that something inside is so horrible, so ugly, like you can't even show that to people. And it just feels that we sit there with this here, and it just feels like you want to jump out of your body.
Yeah.
But there is nothing really major because I'm really trying to keep attention in the body. And then, like, okay, only one way to face it is just stay with it. That's
Yeah.
all what you can do. And, like, no matter what mind is telling. But what I want to ask, like, mind sees itself, there is nothing really to avoid to feel in the body, but it's still so hardly trying to pull out in thoughts, in some old patterns. and that looping thought. It didn't happen, like I did stay in the body and I did calm like pretty quickly. If normally it would take a day to go on that washing machine cycle, now it was half an hour. I was, like regulated again. And like I just kept checking in the body and there was like nothing really big or major. So that's what I was like, I really need to find out, like, how is it happening? There is nothing really much in the body to avoid to feel, nothing extreme is happening, but my so intensely trying to pull out. That's what my question is.
Yeah. What I would encourage you to do is keep noticing the difference between the thought and the body. So you have a sensory experience in the body. And as you say, it can just be a contraction, or it can be like difficulty in breathing deeply, or it can be the heart pounding, or it can be sweaty palms, or it can be like a kind of like tunnel vision, or it can be only that, the sensory experience in the body. And that is as it is. And usually, no matter what it is, it's very easy to stay with. Even if you are nauseated and you feel that you start to vomit and saliva comes and then you vomit, even that is very easy to stay with, because the body is not complicated in any way. It's very, very difficult. Like we just experienced, you can dissolve the body when you close your eyes. There's no body anymore. So staying with the sensory experiences are very, very easy. To me, what I see as awakening, it's becoming aware of the difference between the thought and the body. And the more you practice noticing the difference that is in that, the easier the awakening process is for you. Because right now you still emphasize the thought as if it's true. Just like seeing that house, I'm seeing a house, as if that is something particular, or a sound, and that is an annoying sound, it's the mind overlay on things that is creating the degree, like Linda taking out a cup. That is just the hand reaching into a cupboard and out comes a cup. It's like there's nothing more to it. But the thought overlay of how she's moving her body and what she's doing and when she's doing it, that is where all the suffering is. So you're so close, it's really just about keep emphasizing, oh, that is a thought and that is a thought, pulling yourself up. So you kind of, what I call on the fifth floor, where you look at it from above, and you down here you have what is actually happening, the thoughts and everything is happening here. Pull yourself up and just look at it as you were an anthropologist, and going, this is really odd. The body is located in a coffee shop. I have a cup of coffee here, and there's this overlay of what is happening. So my sensory experience says that I have a bum in a seat and there's a cup of coffee in my hand, but my mind tells me that I'm wrong. Where the fuck did that one come from? Completely out of the blue. And it's the weirdest thing is that the more you slow down and really notice the thoughts, the more you also become aware that you have a million thoughts at the same time. But the frontal lobe is choosing one of them that gives you the most. So you have a million different thoughts about the coffee is cold, or the coffee is hot, and the waitress is this and that, and the smell is this and that. And then one of the thoughts is, Anna is wrong. Ooh, that's the one I'm going with. Ooh, because that is the one that gives you the most entertainment. It's a bit like when you're sitting and flicking on Netflix, and then suddenly you catch something like, ooh, the Kardashians. Ooh, much more interesting in major rituals of grizzly bears. And that's why we pick that channel. It's the same with the thought. You just pick the one that has the most meat on it right now. That's the first part. The second part is when you pull yourself up on the fifth floor and you look at it, find out why that thought is meaty right now. Because right now, there's a message to you in your bubble of reality. There's a message right now. There's something that needs to be healed. Okay. Anna is sitting here in a coffee shop. There's a thought saying people are looking at Anna and Anna is wrong. Okay, all that is just overlay. Why is it important for me right now to have a recognizable thought about me being wrong and people looking at me? Okay, it's clearly because now you're an adult, you are the adult in the room. Right now, you can meet yourself with the love and compassion that didn't happen when you needed it. Okay, I am now Anna's mom, and I'm sitting here and saying, it's okay, babe. They can look at you. Can you be in your body where everybody's looking at you and you feel wrong? I got your back. I'm sitting right here with you. Just breathe into it. Is it okay? Can you be in a body where this is happening? And then you use it. You use it as an indication of what needs to be healed right now. Because the thought is not true, it's just a thought. Purple leprechaun, it's not true. But you can use it to heal yourself, what needs to be healed. It's just like when, like the argument you had with the person. That person said something that really hurt you. So you went into the bathroom and you cried. In that moment, if you could have pulled yourself up and looked at that TV show called Anna's Life. That was a TV show. Somebody said something, Anna started to cry. You're looking at it from the 5th floor and going like, wow, right there, that incident, what happened right there reminded Anna of the glimpse we just saw when she was 5 years old and she was never acknowledged. And this just reminded her, I know that because, I'm sitting and watching this TV show. Our lives are exactly the same. The things that are happening are reminding us of something that needs to be healed. And you will experience that in another episode of Anna's life, Anna is in the argument, or the other person is trying to make an argument with Anna. And Anna is just noticing what is happening internally and externally. Oh, wow, you're really invested in arguing with me. Okay, can I help you in any way? Do you need a hug? Because Anna is not hurt anymore. There's nothing anymore that needs to be healed or needs attention or compassion internally anymore. That is sorted, which means that you are not hurt by it anymore. You can have compassion with what the other person is bringing to the table. Wow, so you said I was dismissive. I'm so sorry you felt that way. I'm never ever dismissive towards you. Can I help you in any way? Can I support you in any way? I'm so sorry that's what you felt. And then you can be there for the other person, but that cannot happen until everything here is healed. Does it make any sense?
Yes, it does. It does. Because I have done like inner child healing, but
Yeah.
it came so like very intuitively. I
Yes.
just sat and then, like I remember I closed my eyes and I hugged the pillow and just a cry came,
Yeah.
like, and I really felt like how much I have abandoned that
Yes.
inner child. And,
Yes.
like, all what I felt, it was just like absolute unconditional acceptance. And,
But it's funny. But it's funny what you say that how much you have abandoned you, because you just said when you started to talk, you said that you really crave other people's acknowledgement and you really crave other people acknowledging you, which means that there's still parts of you that you're not acknowledging, because otherwise you don't crave that anymore because you already have it. If you
because
just had a glass of water, you're not thirsty.
I have this belief in myself, like I can clearly see, because I was asking, like everything I asked that person, I turned that around when I was reflecting. And it's basically, like I want they celebrate me, I want they feel happy for me. That means that's what I want to do for myself. So
Yes.
I look back, like why I can't do that myself. But
Yes.
I am not enough. I never have enough. I don't do enough. Not enough. Not enough. Not
Compared
enough.
to what, sweetheart? Compared to what?
Yeah,
What are you
that's
comparing to?
comparing, and I notice this is just comparing, like you put your hand standards so high up, like first awakening, first shift. Oh, when I get there, you get it, not enough, you need more, you need more, you need
There's no
more.
more. Yeah, there is no more. If you think that there's more, then you're just still in the ego. There is no more. There is no more. There's no degrees of awakening. There's either suffering or not suffering. That's it. There's no
And
degrees
that's
of it.
I
And
look back, it's just
it's a
ev-
really sorry.
that's that's not enough. It's with everything, like financial. You look back, like, oh, money, it can be taken off, and that instant fear, like, oh, not enough, and that's scarcity, that lack is all that about anything,
Everything. Yeah.
Time is not enough. You need to go faster. You need to do more. You need to do better. And another thing what I have noticed, I have very, very like strong fear kicking in when I'm thinking I can make some mistakes
Yeah.
and I can do something wrong. And that punishment, something extremely bad is going to happen to me and I will not know how to handle this. This is just like, oh, that fear kicks in instantly. And then, do something to fix it.
It's really, really good to become aware of. And the only thing you need to ensure yourself is that if you do something wrong, do you have Anna's back? Do you have your back? Are you sure that, because you will do things wrong, of course you will, you're human. So you will do things wrong, but when you do something wrong, are you going to be there for you, or are you going to leave yourself going like, see, I told you? Or are you going to be like, it's fine, fine. We're going to sort it out. It's just like, taking a wrong turn. Then you sort it out. You're not sitting and crying in the cul-de-sac, are you? You're just turning the car around, going the other way, going the right way.
Still self-beaten. Like I noticed yesterday, like when I noticed, like mind is pulling in thoughts and that's like reactivity happened. And then when I was sitting there and I can see like mind, you couldn't manage that. You couldn't do that. You've done wrong, like you just not and again, not enough, you're not doing enough. And I was thinking like, but I actually didn't even get pulled into that thought
Yeah.
stream, like
And who's saying
that's
it? Who's
massive,
saying it?
but not enough, not enough.
Yeah, but who's saying that?
That's my dad.
Are your dad?
Useless. You're useless, Anna. You're useless.
Okay, so now have you seen the lessons that I have about the bubble of reality?
Mhm.
So do you see now that dad wasn't talking about you?
No, he was no. I
He
know.
wasn't talking about you. Oh, poor dad. You know, he knows how it is to be in the world where he's not enough. And he wants to make sure that you never ever experience that kind of failure that he has experienced. So he has done everything in his power to make sure that you would never ever experience that.
So
You
it was
will not.
basically like his way to protect me.
Yes, of course,
Okay.
of course.
Okay.
He knows how
That's
horrendous it feels. So he just wanted to make sure that you never ever felt that way. He was only ever talking about himself.
yeah. That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense now.
It never had to do with you. It was never about you.
And I turned it all around like something is wrong with me and I'm not enough and I need to do more, need to do more. Just daddy, love me, love me, love me, look at me, love me.
Yeah. And I can tell you right now, he did love you, but he loved you in a way that was different than the way you wanted him to love you, which is super unfair. He loved you the way that he was capable of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just because you want to be loved in a different way, make sure that you love you in that way. You can't demand that of anyone. But you can make sure that you love you like that now. And anytime you do something, you got your back. You're your own cheerleader going, well done, you. That was well done. Did you see how you did put that cup into the dishwasher? Ha! Well done. You're your own cheerleader. And if you don't feel supported and loved, it's because you're not supporting and loving you.
Mm-hmm. Everything what I'm looking out there, that is what I'm missing here. I know that, yeah, but it's just, like to know it and to do it, it's slightly different. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But also really know that whatever you, like you say, whatever you want other people to do, you only want them to do it to remind you that you need to do it. it's not really because you want them to do it, because you have tried that other people have acknowledged you, and it feels great, and then it's empty again. It's because it's not really what you want. You want you to acknowledge you. You want you to have your back. You want you to be your cheerleader. And then when other people say, that was amazing, you go, I know. Because there's a recognition in it. But otherwise, until that recognition is there, whatever other people say and give you, it will feel hollow.
It does. It actually does.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
because
an echo. Yeah.
people, we know, like when people say something like, yeah, but I didn't really do anything, it's
Yeah.
just like instantly, I'm just like
Yeah.
taking it back. No, it's not, no, nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Instead of you knowing that is absolutely true. It's why I'm such a big proponent of you entering every single room that you have, because it makes you solid in a way that when somebody says, I love you, you go like, yeah, I get that. I know. I completely get why you do that. I am wonderful. I get that. But also when somebody says, you're so arrogant, that you can say, I know, I know, I absolutely am. It's about owning everything. And everything is completely fine with me. Everything is fine with me.
It's like in the Jeff Foster's book, that's The Deepest Acceptance. Like we have capacity, like an ocean for every wave raising up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, if you can fail and you can success and you can do both, and that's okay to do both, to be both and feel both ways.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, you're so welcome. I'm so happy you're
Thank
here.
you.
I'm so
Thank
happy you're
you
here.
very much.
Sophie, let me add you here. Hello, my friend.
Hello. Nice to be here.
Good. I'm happy you're here.
Yeah, it's lovely to meet you.
And you. How can I help you?
There is a number 5, I think. There's a relationship in my life where it's my closest friend, and he's an ex. He's my ex, and there's an aversion to him. But and now, right, let me get this out. So I'm aware of the veiling that's come up between us, so we don't fully see each other, and I was aware of that for a long time, and I see it in us because I know how both of us can be out of this friendship dynamic, and we don't necessarily manifest in that way with each other. And I have a belief. I can see that there's definitely not. There's a big well of not good enough that comes up with him, with regards to other women. Who's he going to meet? What are they going to be like? A lot of thoughts coming up, trying to visualize the woman and finding women whether we go out together sometimes, and there's a woman that's the one for him. And I can see that I'm blaming him for, what did I see the other day when I was listening to your video? So there's not good enough coming up. And I would like to, there's this constant thought, which has been around for a couple of years, to cut connection with him, for us to cut off and have a break, to cut this energy dynamic that's happening between us with the veiling, because there's a belief that that will change things. And there's a belief that that will make things better. There's a belief that that will help me to feel good enough around him Yeah, because I'm blaming our dynamic. I'm blaming him for me manifesting this not good enough energy. It's
Okay.
like the projection that you're the problem here. If something changed between you and I, then I would be okay.
Would be great, wouldn't
Oh, wouldn't it?
it?
Anything in there that you can pick apart. I mean, I'm
Yeah, so much.
good.
The thing that is with relationships and why relationships are so amazing is that they're such a mirror, you know. When we're with someone and they don't do what we want them to do, so we do to make them do what we want them to do. In that, a lot of resentment happens because there's hidden expectations to him doing or saying things in a certain way for you to feel better. And resentment and bitterness, it's so difficult to unravel because it's so hidden that it's all about us, and we don't want that to be all about us. If I say that the only issue that there is between you and your ex-partner, it's your thoughts about it. It's gonna be a list so long of why I'm wrong, you know, because he didn't, and he never, and he always, and he. But if you make a list of all of those things, you will see how all that is a projection you do from you into him, so you don't have to. You know, he didn't say that he loved me enough, so I didn't feel enough. Okay, if you completely unravel that one, are you sure it was him who didn't say it? I didn't say that I loved him enough. I didn't say that I loved me enough. Okay, which of those three are the most potent one? He's not ever going to do something that makes you feel better. Because no matter what he did, what Anna just talked about, no matter what he does, you will always add one more to it. And also you want him to do things in the way that you want it done, which means that it's not him at all. The gift about being with another person is that they do them their way, you know? And the best thing we can do in a relationship is just step aside and see how that other person is in life.
Yeah, it because it's been a beautiful relationship, and yeah, I mean, it's been ebbing and flowing for years, and we are friends now, and that's it. And it's lovely, and he is the greatest teacher. He introduced me to non-duality, and my old pattern was to cut and run. Because the cutting off is very easy. I can do it so easily. I can go through the pain that I perceive will come because of that. But then what do you say about that then? Because in the, I mean, it wouldn't be a cutting off forever, but in that I also see there's something within that as well, because I feel there are still attachments between us, which
Clearly you want to control which woman he chooses.
maybe I also want him to be free.
Yeah, but you're not making him free. When
No.
when he's not allowed to be as he is, and when you go out and have coffee and you are, you know, in which woman he should choose, first of all, you're not allowing him to be free, and second of all, you left you. You know, there's a vacancy sign up on your chest because you're in his business
Yeah.
instead of being in your business. Instead
I
of
like, yeah, I know that one, and thank you for pointing that out, because it's like
yeah.
Hmm.
And it's what is difficult, you know, and especially when you have the so easy just to run. So easy just to, you know, it's not like I want it to be, so I'm just out. It's such a solid survival mechanism, you know? And because you weren't met, you know, as a child, the way that you needed to be met, you took things into your own hands, matters into your own hands, and you sorted out everything yourself, which have made you super strong and independent, which is beautiful and wonderful. I'm not saying anything against it at all. But it also left you with an underlying belief that it's not safe to receive. And that's just a survival mechanism. It's not true. It's just a survival mechanism. So no matter when somebody's standing right in front of you and is trying to give you, you cannot receive unless it's on your terms and the way that you are dictating it to be, for it not to be dangerous. And I have so much love and compassion towards that. You really, really should have too. I don't know if I'm helping much. It's very much about coming back to owning everything and putting yourself in a position where you do not know. And that was a super, super scary place to be years and years and years ago. And it has just created a certain way of viewing life and viewing you and viewing all other people. But if you can put yourself in a position where you feel safe enough to question even that, you know, how do you know? Like we did in the meditation in the beginning. How do you know how love feels? How do you know how compassion feels and kindness feels? How do you actually know that? How do you know what is the best for him? How do you know what's the best for you? And you are entitled to change your opinion all the time. So what is right now doesn't have to be right 5 minutes from now. So if you can practice that adaptability, then you don't need to be what do you call that? I don't know what you call that in English, foreseeing what will happen to ensure your safety.
Yeah, that's the mechanism.
Yeah.
It's the planning, it's the how can I make myself safe, and yeah, all sorts of not be rejected or not feel good enough. And
the whole thing is, can you ever be unsafe?
No.
Isn't that no, you can't. If you got you know, and no matter what right turn or left turn you take, it's completely fine. You will not sit and sob in a cul-de-sac because you took a wrong right. You just turn the car around and back on the road and find your way. If you have your back like that, then you don't need to prepare and ensure that everything is falling into place the way that you have planned it. It can be allowed just to fall into place the way that things messily fall into place.
Yeah. It's really helpful, because that's what wisdom has been coming up. And I mean, it's been 4 years of me sticking in the fire and being with everything that's been given via him and us, and it's been so beautiful. And like one of the biggest shifts before Christmas, I had this very strong projection over a woman we saw at a comedy club, and it was just amazing, fireworks going off in thoughts, and I've not felt so free between he and I until like that experience. So it's incredible what projection can do,
Yeah.
but staying with it as well. And it's
Yeah.
nice just to hear
Yeah,
you and
yeah,
share.
and then I also want to say the last thing I want to say is, like I said to Glenda, really become aware of how much is thought and how much is actually sensory experience. Because you will find that there's a huge difference. The moment that you don't need to ensure the future, all that perceived, made up future all the time, the more you can just allow to be with the sensory experiences. And no matter what thought comes up, you can see, okay, that's just a thought. Off you go. Purple leprechaun, off you go, off you go, off you go. And just coming back to the sensory experience. Because a lot of the suffering that we do when we try to make our future safe, it's mind created. All the scenarios are mind created, and all the safety in those scenarios are also mind created. None of it is real right now. Right now, it's just this. And you cannot be unsafe here. Even when you're on your way to the gallows, every step you're taking towards the gallows, you're actually quite safe. It's that perceived stress that comes on top that is making you feel unsafe. So see if you can really practice pulling the two aside and going back into the sensory experience in the body. How does it actually feel to be Sophie right now? So really, really feel into it. Oh, I'm a bit nauseated. Are you sure about that? No, I'm actually not. There's something happening here. Okay, that's more like it. Because whatever label you put on it is connected with a thought. So keep zooming in and zooming in and zooming in until it's just sensory experiences.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing the next episode. And then it's Sunny. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Same to you and everybody else. I have a question about the identification, because in many of your videos, especially many of them, you say, look into the identification.
Yeah.
And I'm really puzzled by what does it mean to, because I can identify as a woman close to 50, having children, but is it, so I have these questions. So should I look at it as it's above from the fourth floor, like to drag myself out of it and look into it? Or should I look into why I'm identifying, or if and what I'm identifying with? And should I stop identifying?
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with that sentence.
No, yeah, I completely. You're not the first question. You're not the first one who has asked me, what do you mean with looking into? Because I do say that a lot. And I'm sorry that I haven't clarified it more. It's whenever you think that you know something, that is a delusion. Because you don't know anything. We only think that we know. So you only think that you are a woman close to 50 and you have a job and a home and children and all of that. All that identification, it's just a part of it. It's a little bit like we did in the beginning with you, and you, if you close your eyes and you think of your hand, you have a mental picture of how your hand looks. But it's just a recognition of how your hand looks. When you actually open your eyes and you look at your hand, first you're going to see the recognition, but then suddenly you actually see what is there. And it's not a hand. There's a label we can put on it and call it a hand, but that is more descriptive of the label. It's not really describing what this is. Do you know that Magritte painting where it's a picture of a pipe, and it says, and the picture is called "This is not a pipe."
Yeah, I think I heard about it. Yeah.
It's a bit like that whatever identification we have is a limit It's limiting what it actually is. If you think that you're only a woman, you're limiting yourself. You're so much more. You're also a mother and a daughter, and if we completely release all labels to put on it, you cannot even say that you're a human being. You're energy. You are a collection of atoms, but if we zoom in, even that collection of atoms is not even defined in a certain space. So the identification that we use to make our perceived world more safe. And what I would like for everybody to do is to really rock that boat where you think that the perceived world is as you perceive it. It's just perceived. It's not reality. It's just the way that we perceive it. If you can you hear my voice saying something. If you are deaf, you are probably sitting right now on YouTube and reading the subtitles, which means that you haven't even got an idea of what my voice sounds like. And we know that how my voice sounds like is not how my voice actually sounds, it's how your brain is perceiving the vibration of what my sound is doing, what my voice is doing to the vibration in your ear, which means that to everybody here, my voice is different. I have had meetings where people in the same meeting say that I speak too slow and too quick at the same time. So it's really looking into, when I say look into, then it's whatever you perceive as reality right now, question that. How do you know?
And then what?
See where it takes you. Follow it. So right now you perceive that you're sitting in a sofa in Denmark, right? If you look at that perception right now, how much of that can you actually dissolve? I mean, saying that a country has borders and boundaries is completely arbitrary. We don't. It's something we have decided, just like time. It's something man-made that we have decided to make any kind of sense of the decay of the meat suit. That time doesn't exist, time is not real. So is that looking into everything that you perceive as real, just like you have this idea that your thoughts are real, but they're not though. It's chemical processes. You can be given an injection of adrenaline and all of a sudden you will perceive everything as dangerous. Or you can be given an injection of oxytocin and all of a sudden you will feel so much love and connectedness with everybody here on the call. Both are true and both are not true because it's dictated by your biochemistry. So whatever you perceive as real, as reality, and this is how it is, can be questioned. It can be dissolved. Whenever you feel anxious or sad, or that can be questioned and that can be dissolved.
But then I have, how do I then feel safe in the world if everything is up for grabs? Let's say I sit in a sofa now, but yeah, the sofa is on the floor and it's like 2 stories above ground and it feels like I'm sitting in nothingness.
Yes.
When I start that thought, it's like I have nothing underneath me and I could be outside or down, or I'm basically floating in air because I'm up, and it doesn't really feel safe. Then what?
See, that was, hang on, because you made a very, very quick conclusion that is not safe. And that is what you are looking into. Why is that all of a sudden not safe? What has changed? You're just suddenly becoming aware that you're sitting and floating 2 stories over the water line, right?
Yeah.
What is all of a sudden not safe about that? It's only a thought that is telling you that it's not safe.
Yeah. But I get this buzzy feeling in the body, like, oh, but then it's not safe.
And that is what I would like for you to look into, because that is the part that needs to be met with compassion and love, because that is, now you are into the how can you say, into the imprint of your cells back from way back pre-verbal, when the Sunni was created, where you were lying on the changing table, you were getting a new diaper on, and the phone rang and your mom left and you fell down the table. That has imprinted into your cells that life is not safe. I am not safe.
Okay.
And that is what needs to be met with love. And can you be in a body that feels unsafe? What does it actually feel like to be unsafe? If you really, because normally when we go like, I don't feel safe, then we jump away from it into the thought, I'm not safe, I'm not going here. Just like what I've
Yeah,
just
yeah, I would
spoken
move
about.
and I would do something and I would go and
Divert, have
eat
a cigarette, a
something or
glass of
have
wine.
coffee or
Yeah. Anything. But
Mm.
if you, that it's just a thought. It's just a thought telling you that you're purple leprechaun. You're not. It's just a thought coming up saying that you're unsafe. You're not unsafe. Nothing has changed. It's just a thought. If you stay with that, can you be in a body where you feel unsafe? Just breathe into it. How does it feel to be in a body where you feel unsafe? I feel a contraction in my throat. I feel constricted here. I feel a buzzy in my stomach. Okay, can you be in a body where you're constricted and contracted and buzzy? Just breathe into it. Well, it actually is relaxing now. Okay. So now this is how it feels to be unsafe. That will change too. It will be much more expansive. Okay, so now this is how it feels to be unsafe. It will keep expanding. It will keep changing because nothing is constant. So whatever you come into and it kind of feels like this is the end of the road, even question that. Question that. Because nothing stays the same. So when you stay with the feeling of I'm unsafe, stay with that. See where it takes you. How does it feel in the body? It feel how that too is expanding and changing and being different. Yeah, go on.
But what when other scenarios from life comes rolling in and they're not unpleasant, but other times where I have felt unsafe,
Yeah.
like sitting back on somebody's bike. I
Yes.
hate that. I hate when they're not driving well. I hate being in, these Christiania
Yeah.
cargo cycling bags we have in Denmark. If I sit in one of those, I hate it. And that is really unsafe as well.
Yeah.
Is it so what when other thoughts come in?
Yeah, but the thing is that you sitting in the cargo bike, let's say that, you sitting in the cargo bike, or you sitting and meditating and realizing that you're on the second floor and you're floating in space, the bodily sensation of fear is the same.
Yeah.
So what is happening is a bodily sensation is happening, and you have a label that's saying this is fear. When you detach the two, so you take the fear label, pull it off, and you just stay with the sensory experience, you would feel that change. But because you haven't done it, every time anything comes up that is similar to a constriction of breathing, immediately you go to this is fear and jump away from it. And that is what I'm inviting you back into doing, because there's something in your body that needs to be felt. And just staying with that and just feeling whatever comes up, and you just allow it to be there. It's okay to be constricted. Can you be in a body that's constricted? Yes, I can.
So the idea is not to follow the second thought, but take the feeling from the second thought as well.
Yeah, you detach the thought of the level. And so when
stay
you're in
with
the
it.
cargo bike, you say, okay, this feels like fear. How do I know this is fear? If I remove the label of fear, how do I know what is happening? It's the same constriction of my breath. Okay. So what I'm actually feeling is a constriction of breath. Can I be in a body where I can hardly breathe? I can. Okay, I'm still here. I'm still here. Okay, I can still be here. And that means that what you now believe is fear will be dissolved and will change, which means that the label no longer applies.
And when is it that, because then I need sometimes when I have a sensation or see something in my bubble of reality, and I see that it's actually myself I'm projecting this back on, and I'm sort of taking the inner part of myself to say it's okay to make mistakes, let's say something like that. Is it going to be like that, or is it skipping that part to stay with the body sensation? What comes first? Staying with the sensation, or like, and I would say reparent the inner child, or
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand you correctly. And I just in a bracket want to say when we talk about reparenting the inner child, it's not so much a thought about what is happening. It's the staying with the body, what needs to be accepted and felt. So everything needs to go from the mind into the body so you feel. If that is what you call reparenting, then I'm all aboard.
yeah, but reparenting more feeling like this love and acceptance for this feeling that I'm having.
No matter what feeling comes up, I love it.
Yeah. And it's okay.
Absolutely. How can it not
Yeah.
be? It's here.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is sort of okay, but does something comes before the other, or is it actually the same? Do you think so?
No, the sequence that things happen with is back to when we didn't connect thoughts and sensory experiences. So we're back to being a toddler, a baby. And when we're babies, we don't have the connection between thought and sensory experiences. We just have sensory experiences. And that's why it's so important just to stay with the sensory experiences. Whatever thought is attached onto it and stories we have about the thoughts and all that is just mind noise. It's just clutter. It doesn't matter. The story doesn't matter at all. What matters is a sensory experience. And that is the only thing that needs to be held and accepted and just stayed with. Not for it to go away, but just for it to be allowed to be there. And whatever attachment that we have with that, that's secondary. It's not relevant.
Okay.
But
excellent. I think I've heard this before, but I haven't heard it.
It's completely fine. It's completely fine. Yeah, completely fine. The day when we were getting married, I all of a sudden got really, really dizzy and nauseated and all of that. And I was lying in here and just breathing into it. And it was clearly that I had butterflies in my stomach and all of that. And I was thinking, it's funny how the same sensation, it's like a, what's the word? It's like a hand-me-down sensation, like it's the same sensation of butterflies in the stomach and slight nausea. That's what we use when we are standing on heights looking down. It's what we use when we're about to get married. It's also what we use when we got food poisoning or when we're in love. It's like complete hand-me-down, same copy-paste thing that is happening every single time. It's just different labels we put on it, So yeah. Just a thought.
Yeah. Good. Well, thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And then it's Jeremy.
Hello.
Friend.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. How do you be there for other people? Children, spouses, friends, family, coworkers, in a way that I guess I'll just say the words, even though like my mind is trying to, in a way that's best for them when your bubble of reality isn't in the same place, and the things that they're asking for, the things that they need, are different from how you view those situations if you were in their shoes. I'm at a loss for words, and I feel really inauthentic anytime this stuff comes up, and I would just say the things that I used to say that no longer feel right.
Yeah. The easiest would be if you can give me an example. Because
My
otherwise,
daughter,
examples that are really, really bad.
2 days ago, my daughter had her wisdom teeth out.
Oh.
And in the days leading up to it, she was scared. My wife was really nervous. And so throughout the days leading up to it, the day of it, coming home, it evolved a little bit, but I could tell that they were in need of things. And I wanted to help them in a way that they needed help. I'll stop there.
Okay.
That's the situation.
Yes. Normally, because we're so similar as human beings, normally what you can do is completely rely on mirror neurons, you know? So you see your wife and your daughter acting in a different way, and you don't really know what it is that they need, but you would like to meet their needs. If you get out of your way and you just feel into your body how it feels, then you will feel inadequate and you will feel scared and you will feel confused. And you can actually rely on that is how they feel. They feel inadequate and scared and, don't know their direction. And then you can act on that. You feel really scared and confused right now. Can I help you in any way? Do you need a hug? You feel really scared right now. Do you want to talk about it? Because you can feel in your body how they feel when you get out of your way. When you don't get out of your way, then you're trying to minimize their experience because you don't like how it feels in your body. It's not that bad. I had my wisdom teeth pulled as well. It's not an issue at all. Don't be silly. It happens every day. Then you're minimizing the experience. But that's only because you can't be in a body that feels scared and confused. When you can be with that, then you just allow whatever sensation comes up, and you can be quite sure that whatever you feel is probably your mirror neurons that pick up on them. And then you just ask. Do you feel scared right now? Do you feel confused right now? Can I help you in any way? And if your wife can't be in it and she's super scared, then she goes like, you didn't empty the bin. It has nothing to do with anything. And you can say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't empty your bin. Do you need a hug? And then you give her a hug and empty the bin. Getting out of our own way is very, very easy.
Here's how I'm interpreting what you're saying.
Yes.
Instead of imagining myself in that situation of I'm having my wisdom teeth out and how would I handle that, imagine myself with the feelings that they're experiencing.
No.
And no?
No. How much do you know the feathers?
It's been a few weeks that I've been watching your videos. I've just gotten through the 4th.
Okay. In the 6th feather, we dissolve boundaries. We dissolve our perception of reality, where there is a you and a me, and there is an out there and an in here. We dissolve that in the 6th feather. And that is where what I'm talking about actually becomes really useful. Because we have mirror neurons that pick up on how another person feels. Like right now, you feel confused. So I can help you because I can feel how you feel. Obviously, it's the mirror neurons are in me, and I can relate to being confused. So I am projecting onto you, absolutely. But by me feeling that I feel confused when I look at you, I can say to you, are you confused? Can I help you in any way? How can I help you clarify what is going on? Because I'm dissolving the boundaries that is between you and I, which means that it's not me remembering how it felt when I was confused. I feel your confusion. I feel my confusion in you, your confusion in me, because there's no boundary between us. So I'm getting out of the way and just being you right now. So it's not you feeling into how it was to have your wisdom tooth pulled. It's you getting out of your way. And in that moment, you are your daughter and you are your wife, and you feel how they feel, and you allow for them to feel what they feel without you trying to obstruct it in any way. Which also means that when your wife says, "What do you mean?" La, 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 you can just stay with compassion and say, "Oh my God, honey, you're really scared. Come on, can I give you a hug?" And that is where the compassion comes in, because there's no wanting her or your daughter to be any different. They're completely allowed to be as scared or confused as they are. And you support in whichever way they need you to support. Does it make sense?
I think so. Let me try to reinterpret what you were
Yes,
just saying
yes,
to
yes.
double check. No,
Yes.
if I am sensing fear and worry
Yeah.
in my wife about how this is going to go,
Yeah.
my body and my thoughts is like, oh no, this is not something to fear, and it's kind of like putting up a filter or a barrier.
Then you're not getting out of the way.
Right.
Then you
And
are in the way. Your story is in the way.
Yes. And what I was saying minutes ago was that instead of keeping my story in the way and changing my story to be their story, just drop my whole story.
Drop it. Yes. Yes. And then you say, "It feels like you're really scared and concerned, honey. Can I help you in any way?"
This is really helpful.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. You're so welcome. I'm looking forward to chapter 2.
Me too.
And then is beautiful Lisa. Hello.
Hey there, wow. That whole interchange just brought tears to my eyes. That was beautiful.
Good.
Wow. Yeah. So my question is about quite a few people that you've talked with, and it's a real similar thread that's running through all of it, actually. It's really beautiful. And one person, I think not one or two ago, talked about different feelings coming up, and being in a place where you can say, yeah, but that's fine. It's fine that this is here. It's okay. And so my question's around bypassing, because I feel like I do walk a fine line at times between actually totally knowing that these difficult feelings and emotions are arising, but at the same time, like actually being grateful that this is awesome, that this is happening. I feel very much gratitude around it. So even though these difficult things are coming up doing this deep emotional work that I'm doing, at the same time, there's also a lot of gratitude. So, but I have known part of my pattern has been bypassing. And so I'm kind of, sometimes I think doubt what's happening is a little bit of doubts trying to come in and, jockey with what's happening. And so I just wondered if you had any pointers on how to maybe identify if bypassing might be part of it, or if that's even a concern, because it feels like it has been in the past.
Yeah, it's very much like what Sunni talked about, how do I know how do I know what really is and what is a thought about it?
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe that's my question then. How can you really tell the difference between a thought and the real thing? And of course, recently I had an interview with some time with Josh, and he said, "Don't worry about it, Lisa. 100% of it's thought. Anything that comes up, it's just deal with it as if it's 100% thought. No, yeah. So I don't know.
It's yeah, the thing about thought is that thought always tends to be persistent. It's always never changing. Like we talked about with Suni about fear is always the same. Headache is always the same. Pain is always the same. Depression is always the same. Then you know it's thought, because nothing is persistent. Nothing is never changing. Everything is always changing. And if you go into the sensory experience of the body, it's changing all the time. All the time. And that's kind of like an indication of you knowing what is perceived to be real right now. A thought is when it's trying to make it into a story about something, future or past, about something.
Yeah.
But what is sensory experienced right now, it's changing all the time. At the same time, when we go into the sixth feather, we're even dissolving that. Because what you perceive to be a sensory experience, it's only a perception. Like we did in the beginning with the meditation.
Yeah.
How do you even know that you have a body? If you don't touch your body and you don't open your eyes and you don't feel your body, if your hands are just here and you're closing your eyes, how do you know you have a body? How do you know you are even born? Without a
I'm there
thought,
with
none
you.
of
I
that.
could
None of
feel
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's to get back to the question, how do I know if you're bypassing? Well, if you have thoughts about it, you probably are. Because bypassing can only happen in a thought.
Sure. So even the idea of, well, I might be bypassing was, yeah.
Your thought about something.
Right. And also,
If you completely, detach that and just get into the center experience, how does it feel to be in your body right now? If you're bypassing or not bypassing, how does it feel to be in your body right now? It
just
doesn't
take all
matter
the,
if you're bypassing or not bypassing, it doesn't matter if you're sitting in China or the States. Doesn't really matter. How does it feel to be in your body right now?
right.
And that there, it doesn't matter if you're bypassing or not bypassing, because you can't. The whole point about bypassing is not to feel the body. So
Yeah.
if you just go back into the body, how it feels to be in your body right now, and even question that.
Okay.
As soon as you
Sure.
think that you know how it feels to have feet, question that. Are you sure about that?
That's almost easier for me than the other in a way, but I can see that if a thought or if the words come up, oh well, yeah, this has been tough, but it's great, then all I have to do is just go right back in. This is what's so beautiful about all of it. Just go right back in. Ignore the words. The words appear.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say that but and because are verbal indicators. But
Say
and
that
because,
again?
but
Oh,
and
okay.
because are verbal
Yes.
indicators. Both of them are indicators that something is projected or bypassed right now. So if you do that one, then you know you are in your head.
But or because, huh? Okay. I know someone that every time they say but, they say and at the same time. And I'm like, that's a
Same thing.
sort of.
Yeah. Same thing. If it can be described, it's not. Well, what is it in the Tao? The first sentence is the eternal Tao cannot be described. If it can be described, it's not the Tao. If you can use any words to describe it, it's not real. It's just a description.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to thank you. I don't know that I've ever heard you speak the way you spoke to gentlemen before about, getting completely out of the way and just demonstrating that in the way that you answered his question. That was so clear and it felt so pure. That was really impactful. I thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's what we're going into with the sixth feather.
I can't really wait to dig into the sixth fetter.
Yeah. It's it's important to me that people are completely aware of all the bypassing that we have, with fear, anger, guilt, and shame, with the blaming, shaming, complaining, explaining, that all of that has been looked into, because
Yes.
otherwise we cannot get out of our own way. We are
Yes.
so busy in getting into our own way because it needs to be seen. So all that needs to be seen first before we can get out of our own way.
Well, this last thing, that conversation you just had was a great example of that. In this, you hear what someone is saying, and then you try to imagine how they feel, and then you try to speak to them through that. No, that's more
Yeah.
more filters, and then even though the intention is so pure in that, like, if I could just understand how they feel, then I could da 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 da. But it's just another bypass in a way. It's another way to cover over. Have to completely get
Yeah.
out of the way.
Yeah, it's something that still needs to be met in you. And you need to get out of your way in order to have a real conversation.
Yes, trusting that mirror neurons, as you said.
Yeah.
That's so apparent, and I have such a great indication of it with my horses. They all feel each other, and they'll stand. You can see if you're grooming one of them, the other one is as relaxed by just being close by.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful to see that in them, and we have all that, if maybe not even more mirror neurons in us. But we got to get out of our way before we can feel them.
Yeah, but we can only get out of our way when what needs to be met has been met. It needs
Yes.
to be met first.
Yes.
On board the plane, you need to put on your mask first before you save others.
Yeah, that's really deeply where I am right now. So
Beautiful.
it's been really helpful. You guys both of you have been so helpful to me. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you. So good seeing you.
It's great to see you too.
And that is Iva. If you are here,
Hi.
hi. I'm so happy you're here. I've been thinking of you.
Really, yeah. I mean, I have a rough time.
Yeah, I know.
You do know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. Because I was projecting a lot of things outside. Yes, I know. And I'm horrible, really. I'm just horrible. Yeah.
I think you're wonderful. But here we go.
I mean, I just experienced so much trauma in my body. And
Yeah.
I think, I created it all to myself. Like I'm doing it to myself.
Yeah. If you can use that insight to something where you evoke love and compassion to yourself, then it's good. But if you use it to make yourself even more wrong and being on your case, then it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I really, really want you to meet yourself with so much love and compassion, that you're only,
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
And
that you're,
I've been on retreat, and there was so much love and compassion, and I'm displaying these patterns of my childhood, of my old childhood traumas. I'm creating it on myself, really,
yeah,
and it's just making so much hurt and so much distress.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it distress because it's distressful to remember it or feel into it, or where is it that distress is located?
In the body, because it's just so traumatized. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does it feel in the body? Because it's not, if it's the same in the body all the time, then there is a thought attached to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That if you detach the thought, then the hurt, excuse me, the hurt and the trauma, it doesn't stay the same. It's ever changing because the body is ever changing. Your neurons are picking up on different things. Your nervous system is picking up on different things all the time, which means that
Yeah.
if I ask you to feel your feet right now, you can feel a buzzing happening in your feet. And then you can feel that buzzing is not staying the same. It's changing all the time. And it's the same with the trauma we have had, that whatever we feel in the body, it's changing all the time. It can only stay the same if we add a thought to it. I was traumatized, you know? If we have that thought,
Yeah. Yeah.
then we kind of manifest it and log it in, like saying, I have a headache. Then we're minimizing the experience to be something particular that feels in a certain way, and it cannot be any different than this.
Yeah.
A headache is felt here. It's not felt here or here. So when we minimize the experience by adding a thought to it, we're not allowing the body to experience what the body is experiencing.
I
So
know, because it's so painful. It's just so painful. Yes.
yeah,
So I'm all the time in distractions.
yeah, yeah,
But right now I feel peace. Yeah.
you do. Good. So how does it feel to be in your body right now with peace? How does your hand feels? How does your feet feels? How does your bum feel and your stomach feel?
My stomach alright. My hands, like, there's a big tension there. Like, I tend to dissociate a lot. And I know it's for no, I mean, it's just for nothing. I don't know why. I don't know why I do this to myself. I don't know why I do so much harm to myself, so much harm.
But does it matter why?
Yeah.
Does it matter why? Is it okay to be as it is, and what you do is just to stay with either right now. You just stay with the breath and you just breathe. And you
Mhm.
stay with the hand holding the other hand. And you stay
Yeah.
with the hand holding your head. And you caress your arms and you just stay with caressing your arms. You don't need to know why you're hurting yourself. Just every moment you're not, you just stay with when you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's completely true. I mean, it's completely true.
Do you have a therapist or someone you can talk to?
Yeah, I was at the therapy, but I don't know, just
If you don't like the therapist, find another one.
yes, but I don't know which one would suit me, because yeah.
Is there somewhere, I don't know where you're located, but is there somewhere you can call where they have like counselors sitting and you can talk to someone? So whenever it comes up, there's somebody you can call right away.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I can call a line, like.
yeah, exactly. And
Mhm.
and then you can just say to the person on the other line, right now I'm in my head and I'm you know, making thoughts that makes me really concerned. Can you just sit and help me breathe? And I just need to feel my body and get into my body. And I'm sure that the counselor on the other end will be okay. I'm here. And then you just
Mhm.
sit, then you know that whenever you need to, you can pick up the phone and there will be somebody at the other end that you can just sit and breathe with.
Yeah, I
Because
can do that.
a lot of
But
time, yeah, a lot of times we just need to feel that there's somebody there, and then we can start to have our own back. So you know
Mhm.
okay, I can reach out and call, or I can just sit here and breathe with myself. But I think where you're at right now, it's helpful that you know that there is someone you can call.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid because I'm afraid I will lose all my friends, all my, this is the fear, like.
Yeah. But that's just fear talking. It's fear talking. You know, you are in your mind right now, and you're projecting things into your mind and into a future and into fear. You're not
Yeah.
you're not staying with your body. I would like for you to come back to your body and breathe in your body. You know, how does it feel to be in your body right now?
It's just peaceful, yeah.
And whenever you get a thought about something that is making you scared and concerned and fearful, come back to the body. Just come back to breathing right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you need help, then find the number so you have somebody to call right now, and just ask the counselor on the other end, can you just sit and breathe with me? I just need to get back to my body. I'm in my head and I'm so fearful. I'm afraid of everything that will happen.
Yeah. I know it's nonsense.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's nonsense. It works. You know, the thought works. It's making you super, super scared and super, super concerned and super frightful and super everything. So it doesn't matter that it's nonsense.
Yeah, I can call like every time maybe.
Yeah.
Because then I feel, and then I have this it showed me like the insight showed me exactly what I need to do, just to discard, and all the times then I did do to myself harm then afterwards.
Yeah.
So
But it's very much about coming back to feeling your body, coming back to reality. What is actually here right now?
yeah,
Because a future projection of you losing all your friends, that's not here right now.
yeah,
What is here right now? It's you, it's your bum in the seat, it's the breath, it's your heartbeat, it's your arm caressing your arm, it's your hand on your cheek. That is here right now.
yeah. I just have so much guilt because I caused myself and others so much harm these days.
Yeah. Is it okay to cause other people harm?
No, it's not okay.
It's not okay. Why is that?
It's not okay because it's painful for them and for me as well.
Yeah.
And I do it to myself in the end, so
But do you see that what you say that you cause other people harm, do you see how much it's you screaming for help? And you're screaming for help the way that you know how to do it. And if that is to cause other people harm, that's how you've been taught to do it. And until you meet you the way that you need to be met, it's not going to change. And you need to be okay with, like Suni talked about, that whenever she gets scared, she starts, to gets up and make a cup of coffee, or start to eat something or work or do something else. She's doing the way that she has taught to manage the fear. And there's nothing wrong in it. It's just the way you've been taught to manage your fear. And if you've been taught to manage your fear by yelling at other people or hurting other people, it's how you've been taught to do it. Holding that against you is not resolving anything.
yeah.
Do you use Todd's? He has amazing inquiries on his channel. Do you know them?
I watched this one for blame because there was a lot of blame like these days.
Yeah.
And I watched this one for blame, but I think I kind of disconnect from my thoughts as well a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't even notice sometimes when I have.
Yeah. 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 I can really recommend you. He has amazing inquiries on his channel. I can really, really recommend you. And they're really good to brainwashing, you know, completely washing everything away that you've been taught. And just staying with your direct experience right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, really.
I'm happy you came.
Yeah.
I've been thinking
And I
of
have all the fear because the condition of mine, and then I won't be let in because I'm in such a distress.
oh,
You know, I project everything like I have this kind of experience that it's my fault for everybody's pain. For example, before I was in the shop, and she said, well, she said that she doesn't have a good time right now, and that she's kind of depressed and kind of go through a rough time. And then I come home and this is my fault. This is my fault. And then I completely put it on myself all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite remarkable that God had put you here on the planet and everything is your fault. How other people feel, that's your fault. It's
Yeah, no, it's insane, but in my mind I have so much projections towards other people, so I always say, they feel that, oh my God, and then I feel even more guilty. And yeah.
Have you watched the lessons that I have about the bubble of reality? Because in those I talk about that whatever you perceive about others, it's only about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever she in the shop perceived about you, it's only about her.
Okay, yeah, that's so helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But today I couldn't work. I mean, I couldn't work at work. I couldn't. And before I was very strong, and I could work a lot better. But now I cannot even talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretending and those survival mechanisms that we have, just like I spoke with Sophie about, the survival mechanisms that we have in our lives, I mean, they only take us that far. At some point, we need to dismantle them and really look through it. You being that strong person where you're completely bypassing anything that happens in you, it's not helpful. It's not helpful. You becoming aware that you feel guilty for everything. Everything is Ivar's fault. You becoming aware of that is really good, because at some point you will have, the realization that, hang on, that's not possible. It's not possible that everything is my fault. It can't be. It can't be. With the bubble of reality, whatever is going on in other people, it cannot possibly be my fault. You're not in charge of their biochemistry. You're not in charge of their perception. They are.
Yeah.
You don't have that power.
Yeah.
So whatever is going on with other people, it can only be about them. Whatever is going on in you can only be about you.
Yeah. There's so much ugliness in me. So much ugliness.
But I would like for you to really, really follow that. How do you know, without a thought, how do you know that there's any ugliness? If you don't attach a thought to it, how do you know? Ugliness is a label,
Yeah.
and so is beauty. That's a label too. How do you know?
I don't know.
No, exactly. You don't know. You don't know. That there's just sensory experiences happening. And if you don't attach any label to it, it's just sensory experiences. And it feels in a certain way, and then it doesn't feel like that anymore. And then it feels like that again, and then it doesn't feel like it anymore. That is how sensory experiences are. You're the one that is putting a label on, saying this is ugly, this is bad, this is guilt, this is... Those don't exist unless you place them there.
Yeah.
So there's not an ugly either, or bad either, or guilty either, or anything like that. It's just sensory experiences happening.
Yeah.
So get back to your body. How does
Very
your hair,
painful.
yeah, how does your hair feel in your fingers right now? That's
Good.
that's all there is right now.
Yeah.
How does your feet feel on the floor? How does your feet feel on the floor? That's all there is right now. How does an inhalation feel? That's all there is. There's nothing else. You know, anything else is just a label.
Yeah, but I had like these kind of visions in my mind, you know, because they say that you have to follow your mind as well, you know, not just the heart, but the both. So, so like it showed me exactly like what I need to throw away, and I didn't.
Whatever you think, it's just a thought. It's not useful in any way. It's just a thought. It's useful in the way that it points you to what needs your attention. So when you have a thought, it's my fault that the woman in the shop, that she feels bad. That's my fault. It's not true, but it's pointing you in a direction where you place fault and guilt on you.
Yeah.
And then follow that. How? Don't believe it. How is that possible? Are you sure that you have that power? Are you sure about that? Keep following. Don't believe any of the thoughts.
Yeah, and then I just then I'm obsessed, kind of start to be obsessed about a lot of things, you know. So
Yeah.
I read Bible as well, and then it's said to me, you know, you will go, just you will lose everything or whatever. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But again, that's a thought. Reading the Bible and believing in the Bible, that's a thought. Watching a YouTube video that I make and believing in it, that's a thought.
Yeah.
You can't believe any thought. You can only believe the sensory experience that you have, and that sensory experience is changing all the time.
Yeah.
So you can't even rest on a sensory experience because it's changing all the time. If you close your eyes and you feel the feet on the floor and you slowly make steps forward, every single time you make a step forward, it will feel different because everything is different. Nothing stays the same. You cannot rely on a thought for anything.
Yeah.
And when you get a thought that is making you depressed and making you sad, then don't believe the thought, but be curious. What is this actually doing right now? How is this serving me in any way right now? What is the gift in this right now?
Yeah, it's not serving me. Mostly, it's not serving me in any way.
Exactly. But that's just one way of viewing it. The other way of viewing it is that it is serving you. How is it serving you?
Okay.
It's making you stop, you know, it's making you slow down. You're not working, you're not diverting, you're not doing anything. You're in your body right now and it doesn't feel nice. Then stay with that. Can you be in a body that doesn't feel nice? It's super uncomfortable, but can you stay there?
Yeah. Right now I can.
And keep listening to this part of the recording again. And if you need somebody, call someone. There must, call the helpline. And then just tell the person, right now, I'm in my mind and I make myself depressed and sad. Can you just stay with me and help me breathe? And then I'm sure the counselor there will sit with you and help you breathe.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And keep coming back. You're missed when you're not here.
I will come. Thank you so much for all.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Thank
And
you.
I'm sorry for all what I did.
Are you also happy for all that you did?
Happy?
Yeah.
Right now, I think, yes.
Good.
So it's
Good.
just this,
It's a thought. It's a thought right now. You're thinking. You can't use your head for anything but looking pretty. Don't think. Just stay in your body and feel how it feels to be you.
okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And then it's Yvonne. Hello.
Hello, Mrs. Lent.
Mrs. Todd. That's so funny. It's completely fine with me. If you call me Mrs. Todd and you remember to call him Mr. Pernille, then I'm fine.
I will. I do find the identity thing quite difficult when you're with your family all the time, which I'm not normally, but I am right now. My 3 sons. It's quite difficult to drop the identity because they constantly keep you fixed in
Yeah.
I'm
here.
They constantly keep you fixed as to how they identify you, and so I just have to.
Why is that a problem?
Yeah, it's a problem because
they can see you whichever way. Yeah, but aren't they allowed to see you whichever way they want? That doesn't influence you in any way.
Yeah, they're always trying.
If they see you as a purple leprechaun, isn't that okay?
Yeah, I mean, but it's just, I do get triggered when they start to fix me because they've always got their idea of how my life should be, and it is how it is. But
so is it okay if we unravel that one? Because you only have an issue with it because part of you believe it to be true.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's not because you have a problem with them having a specific perception of you and trying to make you fit into a mold. It's because you believe it's to be true. If they say that, Mom, you shouldn't live at a house, you should live on a houseboat and you should live in China, then they be like, okay. They can think whatever they want to think. You should bake cakes every Tuesday. Okay. It's nothing. It's mean nothing. Whatever people think of you, it's their business. It's got nothing to do with you.
No.
But you need to set them free to think of you what they want to think of you.
Yeah. What's that image I'm seeing? It looks
I
like
have no idea. You should see both of us. I think if you go to the view and it should be on speaker view, maybe, then both of us should be here.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's the same with feeling stupid. I like I'm not very good with technology, and I mean I can sing and dance and all of that, but you know, like sort of maths and English. I mean, I can't spell. English is fine, but I cannot spell the words always. Can't remember. Can't see them again. And so when I can't find, you know, around my way around the internet when I'm trying to, I become so frantic inside, and so, and then it confirms my original feeling stupid as a child at school, where I felt as if they were speaking another language, and all I could do was look out the window. I was with the tree and I was at the sky, but I wasn't. There was no love in the classroom or anywhere I think I could relate to. I don't know why I'm saying all that, but I think that's probably where it comes from. But
isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that there's been this part of you that you haven't allowed to be there? You've been fighting it your entire life, even back to you being in school. And now you get the chance because of internet and login and pins and all of that. And now you get the chance to really, truly embrace that part of you that was told that you were stupid.
But I spent my whole life proving that I am not. But then when I find that I am, I think, oh yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? So you have a fear in you of being stupid. So you do everything you can to prove that you're not. Right? Nobody has said it except you.
Well, it was told to me at school.
Yes, and you believed it.
I did believe it because they were big and grown up.
Exactly. And that part of you was never held and loved and kissed and being told it's okay. Even if you're stupid, I love you. You can be the dumbest person on the planet with the lowest IQ. I'm still here. It's fine. So you spent your entire life proving that you're not. And now technology has surpassed you and you're back to feeling stupid. So you didn't have the chance then, you got the chance now. Can you be in a body? Finally, come on. That feels stupid.
Yeah, I suppose I've got to be. Yeah.
Reluctantly, you're loving it.
But I just want to say I've got 3 sons and they've all got different fathers, and I don't know why I'm obviously feeling awkward about that, but I mean, I don't know why, because I'm not, but I am, but I'm not. But 2 of them are intellectuals, and there was one when I was with him, and I would open my book at the table and he would be reading his, and he'd say, oh, what's this book you're reading? And he'd go, oh, yes. And then I feel really put down. But now he's kind of really respecting where I am, and when he reads certain people, now he's reading the books that I'm reading, and he'll mention names, and I go, oh yeah, and he'll go, you've educated yourself. I am so impressed by you. I so respect you. And I was like, oh, it really doesn't mean anything to me now. But, you know, it's like, oh, okay, thanks. And then the other one of the other fathers, they're sending me really lovely letters saying, you know, you're such a good woman. And it's like, oh, fuck off. I mean, I don't think fuck off, but I just, you know, it's like, yeah, okay, but no, I can't be bothered. I mean, yeah, so it's spending one's life trying to prove oneself. And I have in lots of ways proved that.
Yeah, I just want to pause a bit, because it's also about that part that we talked about back to the beginning, where it's about owning that part of you. That when somebody says that you're really amazing, that you go, I know.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I absolutely agree with you. I've noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about owning it, because otherwise, and it's also where when somebody then says that you don't know what you're talking about, that you can have that. No, you're right. You're right. I know. You know, it's just being completely okay with everything.
Yeah.
Some parts of you, you're super clued up, and other parts you're absolutely ignorant. That's how it's part of the package. It's how it is. So not fighting it in any way, but just acknowledging that, yeah, and completely owning it. That means that you're three boys that can want you to bake cakes on Tuesday and live in a caravan in China, and that is fine. It's fine. They can say whatever they want.
Yeah. And it's also when I was with my mum before she died, and I found I could hardly hug her because she really irritated me so much. And all my sons know that that's how I was, but I did my best to love her, but and I did love her, but she did irritate me an awful lot. And then after she died, I had a dream where she just walked straight into me and I just embraced her. So when my one son in particular, he goes, you know, what's the matter with you? Now when I say you're like your mother, you go, I know, I'm so like my mother. I love her so much. I'm glad. And it's like what?
Yeah, exactly. It's about embracing every single thing about you, and being completely fine with it. And when people say something that you're not aware of, then go like, oh, I've never thought about that, and then feel into it, and being completely fine with it. It's what I talked with Jeremy about getting out of your way.
Yes.
That everything is fine. Everything's completely fine. And your sons can be super frustrated, and they can be, you know, as badly in themselves on your behalf as they want to be. It's completely fine. If that's what they want to do with their lives, then fine.
It is fine, but it's like when I think I've said before, my youngest one who says, Mum, you're completely fucked up and doing all this non-duality is making you worse. Yeah. I'm going to find a therapist. But really, I mean, what he's doing is what I could say to him is no, you need a therapist. You get yourself a therapist. Because yeah. But I don't like to tell him that what he sees in me he's got in himself, because he wouldn't like that.
No, but then don't. There's no point in saying that. If he wouldn't like it, then don't say it. Yeah, exactly.
You see, even now when I'm speaking to
when he says you really need a therapist, then go like, thank you. It's so kind of him to think of you like that he really thinks that you need a therapist. That's really sweet of him to you know, spend his time thinking about your needs. It's the same if somebody says you're super obese and looking really old. Oh, thank you. You know, thank you. You think so? I'm that important to you that I become that big a part of you that you're suggesting me that I need to do different. Thank you. People are only ever talking about themselves, and that he says that you really need a therapist. He's saying, I really need a therapist. You can only be compassionate about that.
I am, but I don't know how to tell him, but I am. So you just have to
Say thank you.
It's yeah, but you know, he really does all the things he sees in me. He cannot see in himself, and it's difficult to explain it.
It's not your job to point that
Not my,
out.
not my job,
No, it's not your job to point that out.
even though I'm his mother.
How old is he again?
Well, this one's the youngest one, and he's 33.
So he has passed the line of where it's okay for his mom, you know, to out on his cheek.
Yeah,
Leave the poor boy alone.
yeah. Well, Mrs. Lent, thank you so much.
Lovely as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I've got to mute myself now.
Otherwise, I can do it. I can mute it for you if you can't find it. My beautiful friends. So good to see all of you. You're so welcome, Jan. Thank you. I can warmly recommend you to go to Todd's page. I really would like for him to get 1,000 subscribers so he can turn the bloody ads off that are in the middle of his meditations. We have written YouTube and asked them, and it's just like, well, he needs to get more than 1,000 subscribers. So right now we are pushing him to get more than 1,000 subscribers so we can turn it off, because that's so annoying. It's so annoying when you're completely sitting itching and then it goes like, do you know that you can lose weight? Just like, oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, so we're really looking forward to that happening. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe so we can get the 1,000. That would be great. Is there anything else? I think that was everything I wanted to say. Remember, we got inquiry on Tuesday. Just write to Todd, and then it's the same time, not same place. It's a different link. So for God's sake, not the same place. A different link. Todd has the link. Is there anything else? Yes. Much love to all of you. So much love to all of you. Absolutely love this. Absolutely love this. Okay. Thank you very much. May all of you have a wonderful weekend. May all of you be happy and healthy, and see you on Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
God bless you.
Thank you.